Next up, we got the curse of the next Messi. Now, I seen this video come across my timeline, and I thought it was a perfect video because this is literally the main thing I've been saying. Now, we all know Lamine Yamal is now, I don't want to say cursed, but damn near cursed. He's cursed with being the next Messi. He has to fill the shoes of being the next Messi. And like I say, I wish that people didn't put that upon him. I wish that he could just be himself. Just be Lamine Yamal. That's all you got to be. You have to be nobody else but yourself. Yeah, you might have some tendencies of Messi, but when it comes to you versus him, don't try to be like Messi, yo. And I know he probably don't even think like that, you know, even though Messi did bless him and, you know, all these things. Society, you know, fans, that's just what it is, bro. Everybody, they've cursed him with being the next Messi. Now, I heard that it was other players that was going to be the next Messi and didn't turn out to be the next Messi. You know what I mean? So I think this video will go over every player and what happened. And just really understand the curse of the next Messi, bro. You know what I mean? Let me know in the comments how y'all feel. Like I said, I hope Lamine Yamal have the greatest career he could ever have. I hope he achieve every goal that he sets. He already 16. He doing better than 99% of people. So, I mean, he already doing well off. But even better, though. He's just now starting. You know what I mean? Hope he have a great career. But, hey, hit the like button, hit that sub button.
Lionel Messi will go down as the greatest player to ever play the beautiful game, winning everything there is to see and lifting every trophy there is to lift, multiple times. How did he manage it? The man's ability must have come from somewhere. Well, it came from a place which is physically small, but its namesake and output, well, it's huge. This place was a small barn house in Catalonia, the Barcelona Football Factory, also known
Football
as
Factory?
Masia. La Masia du Camp Plains, as it's known formally, is the chemistry station for one of football's biggest giants, FC Barcelona. It has produced many a Champions League winner and practically won the Kingdom of Spain a World Cup in 2010. It has produced the likes of Xavi, Pedro, Josep Guardiola, Iniesta, Onana and many, many more. The biggest name it produced would come to be the best player in the history of football, Mr. Messi. But before Messi became as big as he is today, the best to kick a ball, perhaps the most famous person in the world.
Now I have a real quick question, because I don't want to pause too much. It's already a 40-minute video. But does height matter when it comes to football? Because I'm looking at his clips, and I seen like, dang, he looks shorter than everybody else. But I'm like, you don't really need height. I mean, I guess you kind of do, but not really. Because if you're shorter than everybody, you know they say lower man wins. So he could just like sneak past you real fast since he like just so sneaky and fat. You know what I mean? I don't know. Let me know though. Does it matter?
Messi
Height
became
matter?
as big as he is today, the best to kick a ball, perhaps the most famous person in the world. He was a world-class talent and a massive asset to Barca. He was the example of what Barcelona were capable of producing. That came into reality after the 2007-2008 season. From that point on, if you managed to get called up to the first team from La Masia, the eyes of world football were set on you from the get-go, with everyone hoping that they would see the next Messi. And because of this, the expectation of young forwards was set so incredibly high, it was practically impossible to meet. A curse, some may say. A curse that I like to call the curse of being the next Messi.
And they do this on every sport too. Because it's the same with basketball. They want you to be the next Jordan. Oh, he's the next Jordan. Then some people, it gets to their head. Their ego get too high. Then they start wanting to do too much. And then they fall off. But, like I said, though, I think Lamine Yamal is doing very well right now. Because he has all this pressure on him. And he already proven the haters wrong. We just seen the last video. He already proved the haters wrong. You know what I mean? So, he's doing very good. He might just be a chosen one, though, bro. To be honest. He might just be a chosen one.
But before we delve into the curse of being the next Messi, let's have a look at the place in which they stayed and trained. La Masia. La Masia was a farmhouse located in Barcelona, Spain. It was originally built in 1702 as just a farmhouse, but was brought up by the Blaugrana for use as a headquarters for their footballing operations. In 1979, it was sought out to be a dormitory for youth players, for those who didn't live in Barcelona. The structure could house about 60 players at one time. You may notice how I'm using the past tense to describe La Masia. Well, that's because the actual building called La Masia got torn down in 2011, and the academy system was moved to La Instituta Esportiva Joan Gamper. However, due to how iconic La Masia was at producing football talent, the youth system of FC Barcelona is colloquially called La Masia. La Masia is the most expensive youth system in the world, accumulating around €5 million per annum in costs. The way the youth system works is as following. A child would have a trial with La Masia, with most doing so around the ages of 6 to 8. Around 1,000 kids try out every year. Only about 20% ever get in. Those 200 children would play football and train with the club up until the age of about 13. If they are good enough, then they can stay in La Masia.
Wow.
If not, well then, if they're playing then they can,
yo, come on, bro, you can't just do that, bro.
if not, well then, if the player makes it into the
wait, okay, so wait, I gotta go back a little bit. So he said that you have to, it costs $5 million?
La Masia is the most expensive youth system in the world, accumulating around €5 million per annum in.
Okay, of accumulating more. So you have to, so it's basically like a private school then. But it's a private school for football. So I think it's a football private school. Do you learn school in this too? Or is it just football? Maybe it's like the best just like straight football focused thing. I don't know. It's either that or it's like a whole school and design with the football combined in it. I don't know. But it sounds serious though.
If not, well then, if the player makes it into the under-19s team, then they can get called up for Barcelona B, the reserve team, as a rotational player. The player gets told about their role in the team and how important their influence is in the style of play. If that goes well, then the player gets given more minutes and will perhaps be a mainstay in the team, perhaps even captaincy. And if that goes well, the player would then get called up for the first team and would trade with them too. That's if it all goes well. It's quite unlikely.
Wow, so it's already, dang, because look, I told you I'm a noob. So I never even knew how this really system even works. So, okay, we just learned. Okay, wow. So it's already like a 0.1% chance you even make it this far. Now you're saying, okay, you made it this far. Now be the best player ever. Now you're going to be the best player ever. That's actually crazy, bro.
Trade with them too. That's if it all goes well. It's quite unlikely. Of those 440 players that passed through the original La Masia building, only 40 of them ever made their debut for the first team. A player from La Masia gets a formal education, as well as a football education.
He said,
debut for the first team. A player from La Masia gets a formal education, as well as a football education. La Masia students are taught the way of total football, a Dutch philosophy that involves every player being able to play every role on the pitch, bar being in net. In a team where total football is drilled, every player should have the ability to go forward with the ball, with confidence, and those who aren't on the ball should be able to fill in where the ball carrier came from, to keep the defensive structure of the team. The first player to get taught this for Barca, and fulfill the role that was needed for Barcelona and Johan Cruyff's team, was Josep Guardiola. He was the first ever player that was raised to play the pivot. Maybe even the first player ever raised to play a specific role within a team. Total football relies on intelligence more than anything else, and for players to have the ability to play anywhere. Traditional Spanish play is also taught, also known as tiki-taka, not tippy-tappy.
Around playing tippy-tappy football.
Tippy-tappy football.
Tippy-tappy football.
Tippy-tappy?
You can play tippy-tappy football.
With this education,
Laffy-taffy?
La Masia graduates tend to be able to play in many positions and have the ability to replay wherever they are on the pitch. And that's why so many Spanish players scan the pitch, because of the way of Dutch football, and looking at where gaps need filling, and where on the pitch is free from danger. There are over 50 scouts that try to find talent for La Masia, 15 across the Kingdom of Spain, 15 in Catalonia, and 10 around the world. Barca have recently expanded their operations to have a scouting base in Mexico and Egypt. With this huge cost and global network of scouts, La Masia has surpassed the Ajax youth system and is perhaps the best in the world. Manchester City have recently caught up to La Masia though, but there is still an argument that La Masia is better. Louis van Gaal said in 2000 that he wanted to win the Champions League with a full 11 of La Masia players, and he got slaughtered for saying it by the Spanish media. But he would go on to prove that his idea was in fact possible, with Barca managing to win the Champions League with 8 La Masia graduates in 2009. Now, onto the man who this curse is named after. In order to get down to the root of why this curse happens to La Masia forwards, we need to look at the man who accidentally set it. Lionel Messi, born on the 24th of June 1987 in Rosario, Argentina. Okay. He is the son of a steel factory manager and the son of a magnet manufacturer. When Leo was young, his father used to play football with him and his cousins in the streets and in the fields. The first team he played for was his local team, called Grandoli. By the age of 6, Lionel had been scouted by Newell Old Boys. His record with them is unmatched. From the ages of 6 to 12, he scored nearly 500 goals. His potential was recognised from early. River Plate soon
hold on, I never knew that. Wait, what? From huh?
He scored nearly 500 goals.
In 6 years, he scored 500 goals? Bro, what? No. Okay, now I understand. Now I get it. Bro, no. It's no way you come out the womb. How do you come out the womb? I'm talking about straight out the womb? Already a GOAT? How? No, that's actually
his
crazy,
record with them is unmatched.
500?
From the ages of 6 to 12, he scored nearly 500 goals. His potential was recognised from early. River Plate soon came in to sign the kid, and he wanted to go, being that his idol Pablo Aimar played for River Plate, but they never fulfilled the pursuit of Messi. The reasons are still unknown today. When Messi reached the age of 10, his future career would be questioned, as he was diagnosed with growth hormone deficiency, the same deficiency as Hezbollah. He required treatment if he wanted a career in the sport, which was expensive. Newell Old Boys split the cost 50-50 with Leo's father to pay for the testosterone and other hormones that little Leo needed. At the age of 13, the Messi family had reached out to relatives in Catalonia, pleading them to get him a trial with the Spanish club, asking them to get him a trial at FC Barcelona. Just a small favour, isn't it? But luckily, the Spanish giant said yes to the trial, and his numbers at Newell Old Boys helped with the trial being made possible. The trial went perfectly. The board were floored with him. They all wanted him to put pen to paper and to sign, but there was one small problem. He hadn't finished his treatment yet, and the long-term effects of the illness were still unknown. He was also a foreigner, and with the height and weight that he was currently at, they weren't sure how good he would be in the long run. Only one board member was left to decide the fate of Lionel Messi. That was Carlos Riac, the director of football for the senior squad. With the young man's fate in his hands, he went behind the back of the other board members and sat down with the Messi family. With no paper to hand, he wrote down a contract on a napkin for young Messi to sign to make him part of the Blaugrana. The Messi family moved to Barcelona in 2001, living on the hopes that their youngest child would be able to translate his performance at Nob to Barca. Due to the previously stated problems, that of being a foreigner, he wasn't permitted to play games for the youth team, apart from the Catalan League and friendlies. The next year, the Royal Spanish Football Federation had allowed him to be enrolled in games, so he could now play for the Infantiles, aka the Barca under-16s. Messi's infamy amongst the youth team is still talked about today. He was part of the so-called baby dream team, with the likes of Piqué and Fabregas. The real start of that infamy happened in the final game of the 2002-2003 season. In the penultimate game of the season, Messi had been elbowed in the face when going for a header, which resulted in a fractured cheekbone. And so, Messi was required to wear a face mask to protect the fracture, which was too big for his face. The final game of the season was also the decider for a treble for the Infantiles. With a quarter of the game left to play, with the 0-0 imminent, the young winger threw his mask to the ground and scored a brace to win the game and a treble for the youngsters. That brace made it 36 goals in 30 games for Lionel Messi. It was rumoured that soon after that season ended, both Lionel Messi and Cesc Fabregas were offered to play for no one other than the best team in England at the time, Arsenal FC. As you know, Cesc Fabregas chose to take up that offer, but Lionel Messi obviously stayed on at Barca. Can you imagine if Messi took that contract up though? Arsenal having a front three of Messi, Bergkamp and Henry. Mad. Anyways, back to little Leo's story. In the November of the next year, whilst an international break was imminent, Lionel Messi had been called up to play a friendly for the first team by the ex-player turned manager, Frank Rijkaard, the man who haunts my icon picks. Fucking bastard. The friendly was against FC Porto. He came on for 15 minutes for Fernando Navarro. He managed to get a shot on target, which impressed the Dutch manager. Later on that season, he was made a more frequent substitute, playing as a right winger, coming on for Ronaldinho. It wouldn't be until the 2005-2006 season when Leo Messi got more frequent playing time with the first team, at the age of 18. This was also the season when Messi would earn his first Champions League medal, a win against Arsenal. He unfortunately missed the final due to injury, however. Despite showing his abilities and skills on the ball, he wouldn't get a solidified place in the first team under Frank Rijkaard. It was only until a former La Masia graduate became a manager in 2008, another La Masia graduate that perhaps has the same level of fame and greatness to him, but not for his ability to play the game, but his skill to get the best out of players and his revolutionisation of how the beautiful game is played. That manager would be none other than Josep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola was the first example of what La Masia were capable of producing. A player trained from youth on how to play a certain way, he was the first youngster to be sculpted by Cruyff to play the pivot. A defensive midfielder that pivots to play and turns the defence into attack by using line-breaking balls and using his awareness to find space with the ball. He, like Messi, constantly had the spotlight on him, being held to a high standard by the Spanish and Italian press, with Italian magazine Guerra Sportivo calling him the best player in the world under the age of 21 when he made his debut for Barca. Pep made Messi into a freak in his first season as a manager with his former club. He got 38 goals in 52 games as a winger in his first season under Pep. It would also be the first season where he got 30 plus goals, a streak that would carry on for the rest of his time at FC Barcelona. The way that he played was almost a shock to his opponents. A short guy with surprising upper body strength, a centre of gravity that was so low that it was basically impossible for him to fail a dribble, and a left foot that could crack a mean finesse shot. He used his low, unimposing stature to his advantage, being able to shock not only his opponents, but the world with how good he was on the ball. And Pep saw that from Messi, and used that man to win Barca their first sextuple. From that point forward, Messi became the freak that he is today. But what is important to figuring out this curse are the years that came before Pep, when he was being used as a sub, when he was under pressure from the media and the club. It's this pressure that can make or break a player, much like the formation of a diamond.
Facts.
And in this case, Messi became a diamond. It's also about his hardships that he went through. He nearly lost his ability to play the beautiful game due to illness, being doubted by the board because of it. The first player to get this curse was touted to be even better than Leo. His numbers in the youth team are still yet to be broken, and his talent was unlike anyone seen before. In fact, Barca was so desperate for him to sign a professional contract that they made him do so on his 17th birthday. This player is the most infamous amongst this list. This player is Bojan Krkic, born on the 28th of August 1990. The son of a former professional footballer, a Serbian that played for OFK Beograd. He was born in the Catalonian province, close to La Masia. He was recruited by the Blaugrana after he went on a trial at 9 years old. He played many a game in the youth system, scoring the record amount of goals with 423. It's been reported that across the whole of his youth career, he scored over 900 goals. These numbers didn't go unnoticed, and he was shortly called up to play for the B team in the O, but also Bojan himself. Pressure can act as a double-edged sword in the footballer's career, capable of either forging resilience or causing detrimental effect. The weight of expectations from fans, coaches, and even oneself can become burdensome, leading to a decline in performances and confidence.
Especially if you let it get to your head, bro. And I think that's really the biggest thing. If it gets to your head, because it can get to your head two ways. It can be too much and you like scared and now you overthinking, second guessing everything, and then you fall off like that. Or you can get to your head and you have a big ego. Now you going out saying, oh yeah, I'm the next Messi. Oh yeah, I'm him. I'm the best. No one better than me. Then you can't even score in the whole season. You know what I mean? So it's like you said, it's a double-edged sword, dude. Double-edged sword. But honestly, like he said earlier though, pressure is either gonna make or break you, bro. So like I said, Lamine right now, he's doing amazing. All the pressure he got, he's doing amazing. He's doing amazing. You know what I mean? So I feel like I don't think the pressure getting to him. And y'all said that too. The pressure's not even getting to him. So it don't even matter. Like all the other talk don't matter. So that's good.
Oneself can become
like I said, he might just be the chosen one. He might just be a chosen. It don't matter to him. He's just goated.
Decline in performances and confidence. In the competitive world of football, every match carries immense significance, and the fear of failure can be paralysing. Moreover, the constant scrutiny from media and critics adds another layer of pressure, magnifying every mistake and amplifying the stress. Under such intense pressure, injuries, loss of form, and mental fatigue can all take their toll, hindering a footballer's progression and potentially derailing their career trajectory. Thus, while pressure is an inherent aspect of professional football, managing it effectively is crucial for sustaining success and longevity in the sport. With this pressure now both on manager and player, Bojan was set to play in the 2007-2008 season, the last season that Frank Rijkaard was manager. He was given his debut against Osasuna, coming on as a substitute for Giovani dos Santos. This means that he was now the youngest player to play a league match for Barca at the age of 17 years.
Oh my God, what was that?
That he was now the youngest player to play
that
a
was
league
insane.
match for Barca at the age.
Well, he missed. Yo. I have never seen something as sweet as that.
Giovani dos Santos. This means that he was now the youngest player to play a league match for Barca at the age of 17 years and 19 days old, which broke Lionel Messi's record. Not even a week later, he was given his Champions League debut against Lyon, making him the youngest Barca player to play in the Champions League game. He came on for the previously mentioned player and had only 3 minutes on the pitch. He was given a proper chance to shine in early October, a league match against Villarreal, where he was given his first start. It was also an away match, which makes it a little bit more challenging. Bojan had managed to score within 25 minutes, making him the youngest ever Barca player to score in a league game. Later on, in April 2008, the quarter-finals of the UCL had begun, and Bojan was given the opportunity to show that he can thrive in big matches. He came on as a sub in the away leg against Schalke, and scored, giving the Blaugrana a foot up on away goals. This would lead to the 4th age record being broken, making him the youngest player to score in the knockout phase of the UCL, and the first player born in the 90s to score in a Champions League game. As the season came to a close, a more significant record was on the line, a record which was held by the legendary striker of Barca's rivals, Raul, which was the record for the most goals was Dele Alli. Dele was looked at as the best English talent for the future, yet was performing very well for Tottenham. No one noticed how good he was doing. They were looking at the future. People expect the numbers to grow and grow until you retire, but that's not how football works. It's a game that relies on the present, not the future. Expectations are bound to let yourself and the fans down if those expectations weren't possible to meet in the first place. Looking back at Dele in hindsight, his first 3 years at Tottenham, he was not only a great youngster, but a great player. Youngsters often have this trait to them, a quality that no other player will have. This trait is expectation. All of them have it, but only a few ever meet it, and it's unjust. This is a significant part of the curse of being the so-called next Messi. Everyone on the list has this trait. Bojan's next season, the 2008-2009, was the famous sextuple. Zambrotta had left, and thus, Bojan was now given the number 11 to wear. In this season, Bojan averaged about 40 minutes per game, coming on as an impact sub for Messi and Titi for the most of it. Unlike Messi, his position in the first team was always in doubt. The club had begun to partake in big investments into forwards, namely David Villa and Pedro, but he still showed his talent in the time he was given. Playing time was now a big issue for Bojan, and sought a move to a different club. This club would be AS Roma. This was about 2012, the same year that the Messi comparisons started to hamper him down. The Spanish press and the global press broke a story about how the next Messi was actually a blood relative to Messi himself. It was discovered that Bojan and Villa were actually fourth cousins, given that they shared the same great-great-great-grandfather of Mariano Perez Miralles.
What?
As if the pressure
What is the chances? What is the chances, yo? And that's another thing too. Messi is like always there. Like that's how you know Messi. I ain't like yo. Now I know it's disrespectful to compare somebody to a god, but Messi might just be a god, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay. How is he always just there? Like somebody could be comparing, just like with Lamine Jamal. He just randomly blessed him. It was just random. They just picked somebody in their city. They picked somebody in their city to come and take pictures with Messi. He was randomly selected, and Messi just blesses him. Now he's gonna be the next Messi. Messi, it's something about you we don't know about, bro. It's something we don't know about. It's something we don't know about.
Great-great-grandfather of Mariano Perez Miralles. As if the pressure of being a La Masia forward wasn't enough for Bojan, it had to be topped off with literally being the next Messi. Even looking at the bloke, you can tell that him and Lee are probably related. Same height, same hairstyle, and same playstyle. Roma had bought Bojan for 12 million euros, which was a decent amount of money back then. He performed decently, but didn't ever get a full run of games. And that's how the rest of his career would pan out, unfortunately.
Dang.
Never getting a full run of games. His lowest point would ironically be at the peak of most players' careers, around the age of 28, where for him, he was playing in a Stoke side that was in a relegation battle in the Championship. Bojan retired last year, announcing it at his old home stadium, the Camp Nou. He never really got close to Messi's performances, but the timing of new talent like Titi Henry, Messi, Pedro, and David Villa coming in made it really hard for him to make himself known to the manager, given that he wasn't a proven talent. But then he can't prove himself, because he doesn't get enough game time, which creates this unjust paradox. The pressure that Bojan would have felt at the time of the story being broke about him being a blood relative of Messi would have been immense. It can make a player feel terrible when they're given forced comparisons like that.
Thanks.
It's like me asking you to run a marathon tomorrow with no training. It's simply not possible.
Facts.
Being Messi and meeting his heights is quite nearly impossible, which plays a big part of the curse that so far seems unbreakable. But there are more components to it, like you'll find out with this next player.
Damn.
Dubbed the Mexican Messi, Giovani dos Santos Ramirez, born the 11th of May 1989, the son of a Brazilian footballer, Zizinho, who played for Club America. Unlike the others, Giovani was not recruited via trial, but by the scouts in Mexico at the age of 13, which would be old by today's standards. Being scouted late also meant that his displays of talent would be late. His real standout year was at the age of 16, at the Under-17 FIFA World Championship with Mexico. He obtained half of the assists.
Dang, okay, that was
Mexico
nice.
Scored in that competition, which they went on to win. This astounding achievement earned him the Adidas Silver Ball, the accolade given to the second best player of the tournament. The MVP was the United wonder kid, Anderson. Giovani was the type of player that Mexico were looking for. A nimble winger that could play as a 10, or even as a lone striker if needed. A player that could run in behind and take on two at once. A player who could split lines with his passes. This tournament is what put Dos Santos on the map, not only for Mexicans, but also Spaniards. His attributes were similar to that of an Argentinian kid from FC Barcelona, and thus he was given the mantra, Mexican Messi. After the Under-17 FIFA World Championship.
Yo, what? Oh my God, dude, this is insane. The Mexican Messi, yo, oh my God, yo, it's like, what can you even say? Like I said, you just have to be a chosen one, you know? It can happen. You can have the pressure of being the next Messi and still fight through the pressure and exceed all expectations and all doubts, you know? So, it's just crazy, honestly.
Dos Santos was moved to La Masia. He then got a call up to the B team. He performed surprisingly well with the B team, managing to score 6 goals in 27 games, decent for a winger. Soon after, he was called up for a pre-season friendly. The match was against AGF Algairs, and he scored in his debut, which is the best debut out of all of them so far. Giovani obtained dual nationality in late August 2007, and was allowed to play properly and be included in the official squad for FC Barca. He would be given his chance to shine in the league in the upcoming season. Frank Rijkaard had called upon him to play in the league on the 2nd of September 2007. He came on as a substitute for Henry in the 62nd minute, but those 38 minutes wouldn't be enough for Dos Santos to prove himself. The match ended 3 Barca, Bilbao 1. In that season, he would play an average of 48 minutes per game, much like Bojan, being used as a substitute. However, he normally replaced Henry, coming on to play out of position as a 9 rather than a 7. He did, however, score a hat-trick in the final game of the season in a 5-3 win against relegation-bound Real Murcia. It would seem as if Giovani had now proven himself, at least in the league. He had shown what he was capable of, and perhaps the board thought the same. He scored a hat-trick. None of the others had, but that wouldn't be so. That game would be the last that he would play for the club. Unfortunately, he was sold, despite proving himself. He was bought up by my club, Tottenham.
It don't even matter? It don't even matter if you prove yourself no more?
None of the others had, but that wouldn't be so. That game would be the last that he would play for the club. Unfortunately, he was sold.
Oh my, yo, imagine working your whole life to get to a point, everybody doubting you, everybody putting you in this, you're the next Mexican Messi. So you know the whole time when you had to lead up to this game or this series right here, he was training hard. He had to be training this most in his life. So you get to this point and then you actually do good. And then you still get sold. What a waste of time, bro. What a waste of time.
Despite proving himself. He was bought up by my club, Tottenham, for about 7 million euros. At this time, Tottenham were trying to build a project the likes never seen before at the club, buying up all the best youngsters. Aaron Lennon, Adel Taarabt, Danny Rose, and now Giovani dos Santos. Maybe here would be the perfect place for him to shine. He would join an attack force of already proven players such as Jermaine Defoe, Robbie Keane, Dimitar Berbatov. He was one for the future in Tottenham's eyes, a man who would come on as a sub and eventually replace the likes of Keane and Defoe, if he was able to prove himself in those few minutes he was able to get. Giovani was given his first chance in the UEFA Cup, now known as Europa League, against Shakhtar Donetsk. Dos Santos managed to get a goal on his debut against a side that was on the rise, a side that was on its way to become a massive talent factory. With the previously mentioned established forwards playing nearly every game without change, he was sent out on loan to Ipswich to get some playing time. It went about as well as you could expect. The typical loan of a Premier League prospect to the Champo. He scored 4 goals in 8 games, one of them being in the East Anglian derby where he also managed to get an assist. It was often said amongst Ipswich fans that Dos Santos was the best loan player they ever had. That was until Omari Hutchinson came in. He came back to Tottenham for the 2010-2011 season, staying on the bench for the first half of it though. The lack of playing time became a real issue for Dos Santos. He had started to doubt that he'll ever play for Tottenham. It resulted in a lack of passion for the beautiful game, and Giovani had lost his routine and stopped caring as much.
See?
He started to go out clubbing, drinking, and getting on the piss on weekends. As long as he turned up, he might get a chance to play. But as you might know, Redknapp was manager at the time, and he doesn't like players doing these things. The English media had gotten some pictures of Dos Santos in the streets at 3 in the morning.
Yo, why he push out, bro? What is? Yo. Second time, bro. Chill, bro. You have to chill. Anyways, though, I forgot what I was about to say. What's I about to say, bro? He just threw me all the way up. Oh, right. Let me go back.
Routine and stop caring.
Oh yeah, he stopped caring, yo. Oh my god. Like, and it's crazy because this happened to me when I played American football. Like my last years, it's crazy how like your coach and like your team can make you stop caring about a sport. Cause I played American football from the time I was like 5 years old till 18. So I have all that history, literally my whole life playing this whole sport. Then it just takes that one bad coach, that one bad team, and I literally just didn't care no more. Like I was like, I just don't care. Like y'all can have it, bro. Y'all can have the sport. I don't care no more. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's actually insane, but it's true. You know what I mean? It's literally true, bro. Man, that's crazy. So he's talking about he went partying and stuff?
As long as he turned up, he might get a chance to play. But as you might know, Redknapp was manager at the time, and he doesn't like players doing the morning off his rocker. In typical Redknapp fashion, he banished him from the first team, and Giovani was sent out on loan for pretty much the rest of his contract. It would seem as if Giovani had lost his hunger. A lack of hunger can have profound and detrimental effects on a footballer's career, undermining their potential and hindering their progress. Hunger serves as the driving force behind a player's commitment, determination, perseverance, influencing every aspect of their performance, both on and off the field. Without it, footballers may struggle to maintain focus during training sessions, leading to a decline in skill development and physical condition. Moreover, a lack of hunger can diminish a player's competitive edge, resulting in subpar performances during matches, and ultimately jeopardising their position within the team. Beyond the immediate impact on performance, a persistent lack of hunger can erode a footballer's passion for the game, potentially leading to early burnout or premature retirement. In essence, hunger is the lifeblood of a footballer's career, and its absence can profoundly shape their trajectory within the sport. If we have a look at Messi, in a similar situation, he was not given proper playing time until about 3 years after his debut, yet he still trained every day and waited to prove himself when the chances came. I think we found another part of the curse: hunger and motivation in the face of adversity. Giovani dos Santos spent the rest of his time out on loans, playing a few cup games here and there for Spurs. He eventually ended up at LA Galaxy. There, he found some solace, getting regular playing time and becoming a bit of a cult hero. In 2015, he made the Ballon d'Or shortlist, which isn't a bad feat considering he was playing in one of the worst leagues in the world. He also was stud ripping his thigh open, sidelining him for 2 months. He fell out of favour due to the injury. He would only play 42 games over 2 years, scoring 2 goals in that period. He is currently without a club. Dos Santos was unfortunate throughout his career, especially during the early part of it. He played in teams that already had young prospects that were playing ahead of him, and clubs didn't want to take the risk of playing him over already tested youngsters. This problem still holds true today. A talent gets brought up, he plays as a rotation player, mainly a bench warmer. He gets a chance, yet not enough to prove himself, so he's kept on as a bench player. And then he loses his love for the game and starts to drop his performances, so he gets sold. It's a cycle that's sad to see, a cycle I've seen many a time at Tottenham. The Mexican Messi will be remembered by Barca fans as the man who was in the shadow of another next Messi, Bojan. The next Messi will go down as a cult hero at many a club,
hey, look,
but unfortunate.
Right now, about 36 minutes into the video. If you're watching this far, number one, I love you. Okay, we're gonna play a little game. All right, to see who's been watching this far, I want you to comment a word. All right, word of the day. Word of the day. The next Messi. Comment the next Messi. so I know who watching.
Definitely not for the Blaugrana. This player is Gerard Deulofeu.
Gerard
Deulofeu Lazaro, born on the 13th of
always
March
there.
1994 in Catalonia. His parents were both football fans but had no involvement in the sport. He joined the Barca youth system, not La Masia, as he lived so close to the training ground. At the age of 9, he was primarily a lone striker but occasionally played on the wing. This earned Gerard a 2-year promotion to the just over a month later, on the 29th of April, Deulofeu was called up for the first team bench.
A month later? Wait, what? He grew this much in 1 month?
Just over a month.
He grew this much in 1 month? What type of genetics he got? No. See, I need whatever y'all be feeding these kids. I need it. Okay? I need it. Give it to me. I need this, bro. Y'all are literally making specimens. These players are literally made in a lab. They're made in a lab. This is insane.
A month later.
How do you grow that much in 1 month? And look what he's doing. Oh, look what he's doing. Okay, look at the clip. I didn't even see the clip.
His next chance would come exactly 6 months later, on the 29th of October, where he came on as a sub for Cesc Fabregas in a 5-0 win against Mallorca. He didn't really impact the game. Gerard would have to play for the B team in order to get more playing time at Barca. Over the 2-season period he played, he managed to score 27 goals in 68 games. A chance to prove himself to the Blaugrana would come in the 2013-2014 season. An English sleeping giant came in for a loan move, a team that were fighting for a Champions League spot. That team would be Everton. Roberto Martinez was looking to add more talent to his squad, and Martinez being Spanish himself, he knew that a player from La Masia like Deulofeu would have the capacity, capability and adaptability to help the team in reaching their UCL dream. To help Gerard get playing time, Barca included a clause in the loan, the clause being that if Gerard played over 50% of the games, then the loan fee would be waived. The Spaniard was put into action in the first game of the season, a Carabao Cup tie against Stevenage, scoring the opener in a 2-1 win. Martinez would have expected nothing less from a La Masia graduate. He carried on playing on the left wing, assisting here and there, but his next goal would come against Stoke City on the 30th of November in a 4-0 thrashing against a side that would soon become the home of a previously mentioned next Messi. 8 days later, Gerard would keep the race on for top 4, scoring a late equaliser against Arsenal at the Emirates. Just as he was starting to find his footing, Gerard would get an injury while playing a league game against Fulham. It would see him out of service of 5
Why everybody
weeks.
keep getting
He
injured?
would be back just after the January transfer window had closed.
Oh, I need this.
When he
bro.
came back, he carried on that form that Evertonians had seen a glimpse of before, assisting but not scoring. His footwork was unlike an Everton player. Gerard kept it so close to himself while driving forward. He was like a magnet. He was short, yet able to shove off defenders.
Ooh,
and he was able
okay.
to do it in the most physical league in the world. This alone gave Evertonians hopes that they had the next Messi on their hands. But it wouldn't have
Nah, think about it. Do people say he's the next Ronaldo? Is that a thing? Do people say that? Oh, he's the next Ronaldo? Because low-key, this dude right here look like Ronaldo. This dude, he reminds me of Ronaldo. He like tall and, you know, just tall, really. Tall, like Ronaldo got the tall figure. Like, he just, like, tall and... You know, and then this kick he
This
did.
alone.
That literally remind me just like Ronaldo, literally. But do people say that though?
Evertonians hopes that they had the next Messi on their hands. But it wouldn't have only been Evertonians feeling that way. Barca fans also had that in their minds. These factors gave Gerard the mantra of the next Messi across 2 countries. Gerard's next goal would come against Cardiff on the 15th of March, 2 days after his 20th birthday, scoring the opener in a 2-1 win. At the end of the season, Everton had finished with a total of 72 points, their record since the incarnation of the Premier League. But it still wasn't enough for them to finish in the top 4, which shattered the hearts of many Evertonians. There were only 5 points off reaching that place, finishing behind Arsenal.
Wow.
The loan spell had ended as a success in the eyes of Barca. Gerard had got 9 goal contributions in 29 games. Not bad considering that a lot of his appearances were off the bench. He returned back to the new camp for the start of the 2014-2015 season. Hopes were high for the 20-year-old. A new manager had come in, another La Masia graduate, Luis Enrique. Enrique had seen Deulofeu's form at Everton, seeing the numbers he was able to put up, despite not starting many games, and missing a few via injury. He was impressed by the Spaniard, and so Enrique had promised Deulofeu game time with the first team for the upcoming season. Just before the first game of the season, on the 14th of August, The club had agreed a deal with Sevilla for a loan move for Deulofeu and off the pitch. When a player feels undervalued or unsupported by their club, it can erode their confidence, motivation and sense of belonging. This lack of trust may manifest in various ways, such as being constantly overlooked for match opportunities, not receiving adequate communication or feedback from coaches and management, or feeling marginalised within the team dynamic. Without trust, a footballer's development can stagnate, impacting their ability to reach their full potential and diminishing their market value. Strained relationships within the club environment can lead to increased stress and distraction, ultimately detracting from on-field performance and potentially jeopardising the player's future prospects within the sport. He had proved himself and was given a promise, and that was broken. Sometimes, a young prospect can be good enough, but it's oftentimes that the club lets them down. The club itself is part of the curse of being the next Messi. Barca itself is part of the curse. Gerard wasn't playing where he wanted to be, yet he still gave 100% every game he played. He was given his league debut on the 30th of August 2014 in a 2-1 home win against Espanyol. Unai Emery was the manager at the time, and his focus would have been on the Europa League, as you may know. The guy's a wizard in that competition. Gerard was given his debut in that competition on the 18th of September in a 2-0 away win against Feyenoord. He got the assist for both goals. He scored his first and only league goal a week later against Real Sociedad. After October, Deulofeu was not starting games, only coming off the bench early in the second half. Despite proving his worth in the Europa League, he wasn't able to start over Iago Aspas or Reyes, perhaps because he was only on loan. He came off the bench here and there, but he never really found his feet at Sevilla, and he wasn't at all to blame. He came out of that stint with the Europa League winners medal though. The Spanish media outlet Masia put him in their worst team of the season that year. Perhaps it was due to high expectations from last season's performance, or maybe because of the lack of playing time. But whatever it was, it would have made Gerard feel even more rejected, as if being rejected by your boyhood club wasn't enough. Despite Masia being the biggest footballing journal in Spain, they tend to be wrong in a lot of their opinions. They said that Luka Modric was the worst signing of the 2013 season, and they predicted him to flop. So don't take the media's word to be truth. He once again returned to the Nou Camp for the start of the 2015-2016 season. But there were no...
Actually, now I really think about it, that really shows you, like, how much opinions matter. Because even the best club, even they are making wrong assumptions and having wrong opinions about players. So that really shows you, like, how much you should care about what somebody else says or their opinion. You know what I mean? Like, it's actually insane, yo.
Promises in the Nou Camp for the start of the 2015-2016 season, but there were no promises made this time. Only talks of being moved on. Luckily for him, his first loaners had come back in for him to get him back full time. Roberto Martinez saw that Barca were letting him down, and so he came back in to pick him up. The Toffees got him for 4.2 million quid. A bit of a steal if you ask me, but Barca had a buyback clause for him, just in case they wanted him back. Again. As has been the case throughout his career, subbing would still be the way in which game time would come. He started just 20% of the games that season for Everton. He got 3 goal contributions in 33 games. In the next season, the 2016-17 season, another former Barca player would become manager, Ronald Koeman. In spite of the link of Barca between the two, Koeman wanted nothing to do with the La Masia graduate. Koeman wanted a winger that didn't follow the total football way. He didn't want a winger that would fill in. He didn't want a winger that would cut in and shoot. It's a bit ironic that, considering that Ronald played in a team that dominated using total football under Cruyff. He sent him out on loan for the second half of the season. It would be a club that's arguably bigger than the Blaugrana, AC Milan. It was going very, very well. He would play nearly every game for them until the end of the season, managing to get 7 goal contributions in the league, despite being played out of position. They were nearly all starts as well. He once again started to find his feet, but the loan would soon come to an end. In the eyes of Barca, this was enough to activate the buyback clause. It would be farewell to the San Siro and a goodbye to Goodison Park. And once again, Deulofeu returned to the Nou Camp. Luis Enrique had left the club at that point, and Ernesto Valverde was appointed, ready for the start of the 17-18 season. With Neymar now gone, Gerard had a chance to shine. The left wing slot was open and now up for grabs. He would start the first league game of the season for the Blaugrana, his first real chance of playing for them. It was a 2-0 win versus Real Betis, and he managed to get an assist whilst playing in position on the left wing. Okay. He also started the second game, a win against Deportivo Alves, but no goal contribution. After that game, he will be an impact sub up until January. Despite being brought back at the start of the season, Valverde had changed his mind and now wanted him gone to make room for different La Masia graduates. Back in the Premier League, Watford had just been promoted and needed some Premier League proven players for the squad, and so they looked no further than the former Toffee and La Masia graduate, Gerard Deulofeu. They initially got him on loan and then signed him on a permanent transfer the next year. His last ever game for FC Barcelona would be on the 21st of January 2018, and you guessed it, as a sub. Gerard's fate as the next Messi is a very different one compared to the others. He never got proper playing time and was passed around. It was like Barca never actually wanted him. It was just bad luck.
Dang.
Misfortune can cast a shadow over a footballer's career, disrupting the trajectory of success they worked tirelessly to achieve, especially if they've been at that club since 9 years old. Injuries, for instance, can sideline a player for significant periods, impeding their ability to train, perform, and showcase their skills on the field. Take the hamstring injury at Everton, for example. These setbacks not only hinder their physical prowess, but also chip away at their mental resilience and confidence. Additionally, being in the wrong place at the wrong time, such as being part of a struggling team or facing managerial changes, can stifle opportunities for growth and advancement. Ultimately, misfortune in various forms can hinder a player's footballing career, thwarting their aspirations and potential for greatness. A big part of that so-called curse is just bad luck and misfortune. Gerard eventually called Vicarage Road his home, playing constantly for about 3 years, and then he got moved to Watford's sister club, Udinese, where he is a fan favourite. He is the only next Messi on this list that found solace, and arguably had the hardest path out of all of them. His boyhood club broke a promise to him. Clubs weren't playing him, and the media treated him very poorly.
That's fucked up. I ain't gonna lie, that's actually
the curse of the next Messi will never be broken.
Like, I feel like he actually had a curse. He actually had a curse.
It will not be possible to achieve what Messi has done throughout his career. The only hope left of breaking that curse is all down to Lamine Yamal.
Dang. That's actually crazy.
His upbringing is similar to Leo's, having migrant parents who both speak Spanish. Young Lamine was brought up to the first team by another La Masia graduate, Xavi, at the age of 15. He's already got a Champions League Player of the Match and also a league title to his name. Only time will tell with him, seeing as Xavi is now gone, the guy who brought him through. But as for the rest of the next Messis, Bojan, Dos Santos, Deulofeu, and many, many more, they were all cursed with misfortune, a lack of hunger, bad timing, immense pressure of the world watching them, and many, many other things. Lamine so far has got that hunger. He came through at Barca at the right time. He had great fortune that Xavi was his manager, but that pressure is still there, and perhaps it's even greater than the others, seeing as Messi is no longer at Barca and coming to an age of retirement. To conclude, comparisons will get you nowhere in life. The outlook on youngsters has changed now for better, with the majority of people looking at the present rather than the future. I just wish that outlook was taken up sooner. As a wise man once said, comparison is the theft of joy.
That's facts. That's facts.
And as Rio Ferdinand once said,
people try and make comparisons of who's better, etc. Just enjoy them, man.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video.
Wow, this is a great video, yo. Shout out to the Threading the Needle. It's no way this channel has 600 subscribers. Hold on, bro. It's literally no way. I gotta check this channel real quick. Is this the same person? I think so. Yo, chat. Please go subscribe to this channel. Okay? Please go subscribe. I literally enjoyed that so much. I'm not gonna lie to you. It literally like a little mini movie.
Lionel.
So, bro, it's insane, to be honest, bro. It's really insane because Like you said, comparison is a thief of joy. So the more you try to compare you, and it goes for people in life as well. You try to compare yourself to someone else, and if you don't be exactly how they are or better than they are, then you're now mad. You don't care anymore about whatever you got going on. But in reality, you might still be doing better than most people in your position. You're just not doing better than whoever you putting over you. So please, bro, do not compare yourself. Okay, don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I love y'all.